Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, Moments with God, where I share with you my simple and humble reflections on the daily Mass readings with the hope that this will help you and me in our spiritual journey, in establishing relationship with God, and eventually friendship with God. And if you would like to subscribe to this channel, you may please do it now. And if you like the video, you may please also share it with others. Thank you. Yes, every day I start my video with talk about spiritual journey. And the spiritual journey naturally involves also physical journey. And this physical journey has brought me to Italy, as I have told you day before yesterday and yesterday in my videos. Right now I am in Italy in a place called Schio. And Shio is an important place where a man had the apparition of our Blessed Lady. I'll tell you more about that. But that apparition place is down there a little in the chapel. Here I came out in the open. As you can see, the beautiful background there, Jesus crucified and his mother Mary at the foot of the cross. Here, the statue of Our Lady is known as Our Lady of Love. So, we are talking about our spiritual journey and in trying to discover a deeper relationship with God. Yesterday was, of course, the feast of the Transfiguration of the Lord, and we spoke about how Peter did not want to first accept that Jesus would suffer and die, and Jesus told him, "Get behind me, Satan," etc. Yes, sometimes our thoughts can be like that of Satan or be influenced by Satan or by evil, but Jesus always invites us to come back to him. And that's why yesterday, actually in the first reading from the book of Jeremiah, God was quite annoyed with the people because they were going in their own way, which often happens in the Old Testament. But today, in the first reading, again from the book of Jeremiah, God says, "I will make you all again new. I will show you my mercy, and I will create again a new person out of you." I think in some way, God is trying to create a new person out of me too. And that's why I am inspired actually every day to come and share with you that in some way, if this creation of a new person, a new consciousness, a new awareness of God's presence, of God's mercy, of God's love, and of God's forgiveness can be experienced, then certainly there is a new beginning in our life. And certainly it can lead us to what we are trying here in our spiritual journey to make a connection with the Lord. So, in the first reading, of course, from the book of Jeremiah, God offers once again a new life. He shows his mercy. He mentions it quite clearly in the first reading that I will show you my mercy and I will make you my own. But the gospel, actually, if you hear at first sight, it sounds very uncomfortable because a Cananite woman approaches Jesus and her daughter is sick. And this Canaanite woman approaches Jesus and tells him to have mercy on her and cure her daughter. But unlike what we hear in the first reading where Jesus is showing mercy and kindness, here apparently it appears that Jesus is not showing mercy. At first he kind of rejects her when his disciples come and tell him that there is a woman and please get rid of her. She's crying after us. He says, no, no, no. I have been only sent to the children of Israel. And she was a Cananite from a different tribe and from a different people. So it seems that Jesus was apparently making a discrimination against another type of people. But was that really the case? this is what is interesting. You know, how Jesus moves sometime at first is not clear to us. Like in the case, you remember, of multiplication of the bread, he asked Philip, and it is written in the Gospel of John, he asked Philip, can you buy some food to feed all these people? And but the Gospel says, but Jesus knew what he wanted to do. He only simply asked him. So sometimes Jesus already knows what he wants to do also with us, which we do not know. We sometimes carry on with our own plans, not being aware of Jesus' presence, not being aware of Jesus' love. We go on our own worries, we go on our own problems. We think that we can solve our problems. We go to this person, that person, cry there, cry on that man's shoulder or that woman's shoulder, hoping that some solution will come. We go from door to door except to go to Jesus. And Jesus sometimes is not immediately prepared, as in today's gospel, to listen to us. He wants to see how persistent we are with our demand. That's why he told this woman that the children cannot be given the food from the table, and they can be only dogs who can take the food that falls from the table. That was rather insulting. But what Jesus was trying to say is, find out if her faith in Jesus and in his power will still stand this resistance, which appeared like a resistance from Jesus. Will she still be able to stand this? And what really happens is that she persists with her faith, and she says, yes, Lord, even the dogs can eat what falls from the dish, from the table of the Lord. And I was just reading the commentary by one of the saints, and it is very interesting that this saint must have been so much in love with Jesus. I forget his name, some interesting name he has. I'll come back to you on that later. But what he says very interestingly, when I am known to be the Lord's dog, how wonderful, he says. And how we call our dogs by name, and the dog wags its tail and comes to the Lord. If the Lord calls me a dog, I will be very happy. If I can be the Lord's dog, what a great privilege. See, that's another way of looking of how your relationship with the Lord is and how you can take it positively. What happens eventually is that Jesus does get converted, if you like, or Jesus changes his mind, or rather that the lady persists with what the plans of Jesus already was for this lady and her daughter, and eventually that comes to fruition. Yes, the Lord has plans for you and for me. Just be patient, be persistent with the Lord, with his presence, and he will surely take you on this spiritual journey further and grant you many more things that your heart desires. And if you would like to subscribe to this channel, you may please do it now. I thank you.